Alright guys, this is Timothy Woelich coming at you with a deck profile of a deck that I took to 17th place at the Charlotte Regionals. There was 374 people, I believe, and I went X2, losing in round 4 and round 6, I believe. But it's a really interesting deck. It's Felgrand Dragons, but with my own little twist on it. So we'll just jump into it. I ran 2 Arc Braves, which this card is extremely good. It's probably the heart of the deck, next to Felgrand. Basically, when this guy's dumped to your graveyard during the next standby phase of the next turn, rather. So like you can't send it during draw phase and get it that standby, but of the next turn, he can reborn a level 7 or 8 dragon from your grave, which there's a lot of targets. And when he himself is reborn from your grave, you can banish all face-up spell and traps your opponent controls, so it's really good in the pendulum matchup. And he gains 200 attack and defense for each, and it lasts permanently. Then you run 2 Felgrands. When he's summoned from the grave, he banishes a monster your opponent controls or in the grave, gains 100 attack for each level and or rank. Then when he destroys an opponent's monster of a battle, it doesn't have to send it to the grave or anything, doesn't check. He can special a level 7 or 8 dragon from your grave, so it works really well in combo with Arc Brave. In a lot of matchups, like Pendulum matchups, especially Metal Foes, the main combo was to summon Felgrand with Arc Brave. Felgrand banish something, but make sure you leave a monster so he can run over. And then he runs over something, summons Arc Brave, banish their scale as well, so you board wipe. Then oftentimes they'll be able to come back and board wipe you back, and you just repeat it again because Arc Brave was sent to the grave when they board wiped, and you just repeat and win because of advantage. Then I ran 1 Dragon Spirit of White. It's mostly for Dragon Shrine, but the spot banishing is pretty nice for back row. Then 1 Amorphage Goliath. He's an Earth, which is really good for the deck, so Cycle Raider doesn't hit him. When he's on the board, neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck. He's a level 8 dragon, 2750 attack, no defense. So you don't want to summon him with an Oasis, but other than that it's pretty good. And then I ran 1 Tech Christia, which was really, really good actually, because you run Foolish, you run Dragon's Ravine into the Voids and Card of Demise to get to the grave, and you run 6 Scaldahonids. This won me like 5 or 6 games throughout the day, just whenever I saw it, it was really good. And then Thunder King, when you draw this with Demise, you basically just win the game. Blue Eyes can't play through it very well, because they have to waste an alternate to like go through it, and you just kind of win through advantage at that point. Then I ran 3 Demise, which seems really weird in this kind of deck, but you usually just special on your opponent's turn, not your own. So Demise works really well to set up your combos. I only ran 9 monsters. I was running 8 before the Christia, but the Christia was really good. Then this is my favorite card of the deck, was Into the Void. This made brick hands not brick. There were a lot of instances where I had a Goliath or a Christia or both in my hand, and then top deck this and just was able to get them to the grave and win the game based off of that alone. Just be able to like call a Christia or a Goliath is really game changing. This card is definitely the best card in the deck. And then your 3 Duality go with the Demise. That's pretty typical. Then I ran 2 Dragon's Ravine alongside 2 Terraforming. Ravine was really good throughout the day. It made them waste their Twin Twisters and stuff on it, or their MSTs, whatever kind of removal they had on it, when they didn't really know what you were playing. I only ran 6 dragons, so once I got its effect off like once or twice, it was probably dead. But they didn't know that, so they just tried to get rid of it as fast as possible. Then 2 Dragon Shrine, really good with the Spirit of White. You want to see it, but you don't want to see too many of it, because you're only running the 1 real target, but it's just a Foolish otherwise. Then Chalice, this was exceptionally good all day. Every time I had this card, I won the game. It helped against Kirin's and stuff. When they tried to run it over my Thunder Kings, they would just summon Kirin, and I would just Chalice the Thunder King and damage step and just win the game. Or if they set up Infinity, and I go to revive Felgrand with Arc Brave, Chalice just wins the game by negating Infinity. It's really good. I ran the 1 of Soul Charge. I only really played it twice all day, but it was really good. Opening this with Dragon Shrine is a free Dark Matter, and you basically just win the game from there. unless you're playing Sheer Nui, which is like stupid. The one of Return, the actual special summoning effect was never used for me all day, but that's because I'd rather just play the Demises and stuff. But the In the Grave effect, so like you can pitch it for Ravine and stuff, that was really useful. Regeki, pretty standard. This deck doesn't play well into established boards, so you kind of need that. Woelich, I only threw this in the deck because of Christia. I wasn't running it beforehand, but the Christia combo was just really good. Then I ran 6 Call of the Haunteds, basically, between these 6 cards. The main way you play the deck is just to call shit, so you kind of need these like every chance you get. If you had the chance between dualitying into like, I don't know, like a monster or like a back row or this, like I almost always took this. Then I ran 2 Strikes and Warning because they're kind of really good. And you're running Demise, so why not? Same with Vanities. And then last minute, I decided to throw in the Starlight Road just to see how it'd play. I drew it, I think, 4 times throughout the entire day. It was a 9-round tournament. One time it was absolutely shit. 2 times it was like there. It was like just, it was nothing, but it wasn't bad. And then one time I drew it against BA with a Chalice set, and he top decked Twin Twister, and it basically won the game. And then for my extra deck, I ran Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road. Cypher Dragon, this guy's really fucking good against BA. Like, so good against BA. Then your Photon and your Dark Matter. I should have been running a Tachyon or something of the sort. I just messed up in my deck list. Then, like, the Felgrand, the Harbinger, I would say is really fucking good. Dragluon's really good in this deck specifically. Gets your monsters out of your hand. Then I ran this over the Tachyon because I wasn't thinking. Never summoned it once, never even wanted to. Tachyon would have been much better. Then for the 2 Thunder Kings, I ran the Dweller and the Castel just because that can happen, and you have a lot of extra deck space in this deck. And same with like the Draco and the Big Eye. You have extra deck space, why not run them? The 2 Arc Braves can come up with Soul Charge or multiple calls. And then because of my side deck, I ran a Nova and an Infinity. Made this a couple of times. It was really good. And then for my side decks, like where it gets really interesting, I did a conversion side into Kozmo. I sided in a Strawman, a Farm Girl, a Dark Lady, 3 Tin Cans, 2 Slip Riders, 2 Forerunners, a Destroyer, and 2 Towns, and 2 Cosmo Joe. The reason I sided into the Cosmos was because this deck isn't very great at going second, especially against like Blue Eyes or PK Fire. But Cosmos have a much better like going second game. So I would just side out every single dragon card, basically the Shrines, the Ravines, all the dragons, the Return, and usually the Thunder Kings to side into this. And it worked out really well. I ran the 2 Terraformings in the main, so only being able to side 2 Cosmo Town didn't bother me at all. I saw it a lot. And this was just like much better against water. Like the siding into this won me every single water match because it was just easy. This deck is a really good water matchup. Other than that, I played mostly meta all day. The only non-meta match I played was Dragunity Blue Eyes, and that was a free win. But the deck was really good. I think it was really consistent, and it'll have a really good matchup against the ABCs when they come out. Other than that, just tell me what you think, any improvements or changes you would like to make, and that'll be all.